Hey everyone, welcome back. It's certainly been a while, and I've got a lot to catch you guys up on. I think the first thing we'll talk about is modern cards and my collection. I think the best way I can summarize the difference in the hobby of collecting baseball cards when I was a kid in the junk wax era versus now is that we've traded overproduction of single products for more limited amounts of production on a multitude of products, with many of those products focusing on very narrow slices or aspects of the hobby. We have some products that are geared more towards big hits like relics and autos, some products that are geared towards collecting parallels of the base versions, serial numbered cards, and we have products that are still geared towards set builders, sort of like the old school days. I never really considered myself a set builder, but earlier this year I decided to open up a couple of hobby boxes of Topps Heritage 2020, and that is a great product for set builders, and I found myself really enamored with the idea of putting together that complete set. So it turns out I was sort of a closet set builder after all. I ended up putting together the low number set, minus the short prints. I don't have all of those yet, the high number short prints. The low number, high number short prints, if you know what I mean. I think I will put together the complete set, including the short prints, at some point. I'm still kind of on the fence as to whether I will do the high number set as well. It would be cool to have the complete thing, but it is an awful lot of cards. It's a fairly big set when you start including the high number cards too. Heritage was a lot of fun, and I really like the product, particularly for years where I'm kind of attached to whatever design they're going with that year. And this year with the 71 design, that was a great example of that because I love the 71 design. And when the 75 design rolls around in a few years, I'll be on board with that one as well. Next year, the 72 design, I also am a big fan of that one. So I can see myself periodically over the years going in on Topps Heritage. Incidentally, this is probably the coolest thing that I pulled from the Heritage hobby boxes, this Bo Bichette box topper. Well, the coolest thing that I'm going to be keeping in my collection, at least. So fast forward a little while, and I found myself pretty enamored with 2020 Topps Chrome value packs. If you watched my previous videos, you will have noticed that I opened quite a bit of it, and I really liked the idea of putting together the complete set of 2020 Topps Chrome base. After opening so many of the value packs, I wasn't really that far off. So I started looking around for larger quantities of 2020 Topps Chrome product, and nothing really seemed like a screaming deal. I have a jumbo hobby box of it that I'm not really planning on opening. I was going to just sit on it for a while, and it seemed like the hobby boxes, you pay a pretty heavy premium for those guaranteed autograph hits. And that's not really what I was after. Retail's tough to find, impossible to find around here for retail prices. I had my LCS, I could get it from here and there. Well, during my searching, I found a sealed case of the value packs. And for the price, especially after some negotiation with the seller, I couldn't turn it down. So I bought the case initially with the idea of selling enough of them for a profit that I recoup the cost of the case and then opening the rest of them for myself. It turned out to be more of a pain in the neck than I expected to sell those value packs. After selling a handful, I decided that, especially given the state of card prices and what I paid for the case versus what a lot of the singles were going for, especially when you started to see some of the PSA 10s from Chrome that were starting to trickle onto eBay and everything, it kind of became a no-brainer to open up the entire case myself and weed through it looking for batches of cards to submit to PSA to then flip those graded singles. Even doing real conservative math, it looked like that was hands down the way to go. So the biggest surprise I got from opening the entire case of value packs was just how many autographs I pulled. There were some pretty good numbered parallels as well. I had never really paid real close attention to the pack odds. The retail pack odds are not that bad for pulling autographs as well as, some of the numbered parallels. So I'll run you through the autos that I pulled real quick here. With the exception of one, they were nothing real mind-blowing, but one of them was really pretty good. Colin Poche, Robert Duggar, Armenteros. That's a neat signature there. And speaking of neat signatures, Jose Rodriguez. And I think if this guy could have phoned in his signature, he would have. Brian Abreu. And lastly, certainly not least, this was in one of the last packs that I opened up. Absolutely could not believe it. Got a numbered green refractor Yordan Alvarez. If you would focus. There we go. Just a beautiful card. The green is a perfect contrast with the Astros orange there. Really, really pretty. This is numbered 7 out of 99. So autos aren't really my thing, but sometimes they're cool. I'm kind of attached to this Alvarez, but I am considering maybe getting it graded to flip it. But it certainly wouldn't be right away. I'm happy to hang on to that for a while. I'm also not sure whether I would go PSA or Beckett for grading that particular card. I almost feel like a modern rookie auto like that, I'd be better off going with Beckett. But speaking of PSA submissions, what I did was I rounded up a stack of cards from the value packs that I opened. And just by quick look of the eye and what the card was, I made up a stack of candidates, and out of that stack of candidates, I determined which ones to actually send by really close examination. So, as much as I would like to have some slabbed cards back to flip, I also would like to get a good gauge for myself for future reference. What is probably a 10 and what probably will not be. So I ended up with 2 batches. I have a batch that is at PSA right now. When that batch comes in, I will send out the other batch. These are some of the cards from the first batch that didn't quite make the cut. So we got some Luxes, Pink Grishams, and these weren't all condition issues. Some of them, like in the case of the Grisham and the Nico Horners, it just felt like it maybe wasn't the best use of grading fees given the other stuff I had. Like, a PSA 10 of the Nico Horner, I'm sure is worth more than the grading fees, but it didn't seem like it should be a priority at this point. And same with the May might be a different story now, but the Alvarez refractor, I didn't feel like that would get a 10. Like, I wouldn't have given it a 10. There were flaws that I could see. It was one of the corners on this, as I recall correctly. And not really by naked eye, but certainly once I got even just a little bit of magnification, I saw some concerning stuff on one of the corners, and I just decided not to bother with that for now. When I get the other batch back, depending on how that goes, maybe I'll change my opinion of this one. And a Kino Prism. These are all candidates for the second batch. And these are as well now that Randy Arozarena has turned into the postseason superhero. I think it's probably worth sending these in, or at least inspecting them much closer to see if they're worthwhile to send in. So I got 3 of his pinks. Prism. I think there's 6 of his base chrome. So I should be able to find some decent candidates out of that. I'll run you through some of this interesting stuff real quick. Another Kino Prism Refractor Horner. The Louis Robert Refractor. Beautiful card. Dustin May Refractor. We got Kyle Lewis Pinks. And we've got what I think is the prettiest card from the 2020 Topps Chrome Pink Refractors, the Bo Bichette. There were several of these in the batch that I sent already as well. We got Lux, Kino. Through the magic of editing, I'll put up a photo showing kind of an overview of what I did actually send out. It's not the greatest photo showing all the details, but it gives you kind of an idea, and it's very 2020 chrome heavy. So a base Robert, Kyle Lewis, Lux, the usual suspects. So that's kind of exciting. I can't wait to get some of those cards back, next March or whenever. In all seriousness, I'm not expecting to see them before like February. But whenever they do come in, I'm going to be pretty excited to get my hands on them in person and check them out. And when that happens, I certainly will do a video about it. The next interesting thing that came about in the modern card part of my collection is 2020 triple threads. There's a fellow who I met at the local card shop who started running case breaks. Guess I forget which year that was that he started doing that, but he's been doing it a few years now. Great guy who I love to support whenever I can, so I've bought into a few breaks here and there. I sort of used it as a way to sample some of the modern products here and there, particularly Gold Label and Finest. Whenever he did his triple threads breaks, I never really thought serious about buying into them, except this year with everything happening in the postseason. I happened to notice in the checklist there was an Arozarena rookie auto, and I thought to myself that would be pretty sweet to have. Why don't I buy the Rays and we'll see what happens. Definitely one thing I've learned with the breaks is buy into a bunch of teams and distribute your chances a little bit. So I ended up buying the Rays and the Blue Jays and a few other cheap teams. I did not get the Arozarena. I got some good stuff though. I ended up buying just the Rays in a subsequent break. Then a third break, I ended up buying the Rays again, and the Nationals, and the Pirates, and some other cheaper teams. And when it all was said and done, I had a pretty nice stack of stuff to list up on eBay, and a short stack of really cool stuff to keep. So what I was finding is, for what I could spend on a box of triple threads, one box containing two of those, mini boxes, so you get a couple of autos and a couple of relics per box effectively. Buying one of those boxes myself versus putting that money into spots and team breaks for a half case of the stuff, you're far more likely to get something that's a really nice hit that way. And far more likely to get something that's a hit from a team that you actually like. So again, I won't necessarily be doing that every year, but if the numbers are going to work out like that every year, then it's going to be tempting. And it is a super nice product, even though I'm typically not into autographs and relics. Some of them kind of really tug at the old heartstrings. This is by no means all of the triple threads from the breaks that I did, but this is some of the highlights, I guess you could say. So I got a bunch of stuff from the Rays, and Blake Snell patch auto was pretty nice, out of 50. Got a couple of Brendan McKay's. This relic auto out of 25. It's actually number 25 out of 25, so eBay 1 of 1. And also his regular rookie auto, which that's numbered out of 50. This is one that's definitely sticking in my personal collection. It's a Bo Bichette rookie patch. It's numbered out of 18, but it's number 11, which is his jersey number, which is awesome. So definitely hanging on to that. I really like that card. I love the triple auto relics that Triple Threads has. And this is one I got for the Rays. Of course, we got Blake Snell. Also has Meadows and Lau. It's number 10 out of 27. I'm kind of on the fence as to whether to sell this or hang on to it. What I did was picked up rookie cards, just the base Topps rookie cards of all the players on it. Snell, 2016 update. Lau, 2019 Series 1. And Meadows, 2018 update. I thought that would make a nice little display if I do end up keeping it. But jury's still out on that one. I almost don't know which of these two to show next. But I suppose we'll start with the triple relic from the Nationals here. This is pretty incredible. So we got Trey Turner, Juan Soto, and Victor Robles. Check out those jersey swatches. Those are bananas. Never seen anything like it. This card is out of 3, number 2 of 3. Makes it kind of tough to come up with comps, but I've got a rough ballpark in my head of what I think I could get for this on eBay, and I think I'm going to have to list it. As cool as it is. And the reason is mainly because I want to hang on to this one for a while. Another one of those triple auto relics. Get it in so you can see here. We got Soto with a bat relic. We got Strasburg and Corbin with Jersey Relics. It's not a crazy number on this. This is number 2 out of 36. But other than the fact that it's Juan Soto's autograph, here's what really gets me. Let's see if you can... I'm not sure if this will come through on the camera. Can you see the bottom of that bat chip? It's the outer skin of the bat, like that dark patina that's bleeding through the wood. That is the coolest bat chip I've ever seen. So I'm not saying I'll hang on to this forever, but I'm certainly not sick of it yet, and I'm happy to give it a place in my PC for a while. So going back to the Topps Chrome for just a moment, I have put together 2 complete sets of the base cards, one of them being a master set, which also includes all of the inserts. So this one that doesn't have the inserts and everything, I'll find someone who wants to buy that, I suppose. I don't need 2 sets. Here's the master set, all the die cuts and 85 designs and freshman flashes and so on and so on. I actually put together several of those 85 design insert sets as well. List a couple of those on eBay. And what I think is extra cool, the set of the pink refractors. This is complete except for the Luis Robert, which is currently at PSA. If it comes back at 10, I will be selling it and then buying a raw one. Love the pink refractors for sure. So I think they pretty much make the value packs my favorite format for that product. I know they don't have a huge premium over the base cards. They have a little bit of one, and they just look dynamite. So, lastly, kind of an impulse buy. Got a Manny Margot rookie auto, 2017 Topps Chrome. That was a couple bucks on eBay. Couldn't pass it up. And got 3 vintage cards that I'll show you real quick. This is the 69 Topps Raleigh Fingers. I had this card in very low grade that I sold at a card show a while back, and finally have a nice presentable copy of it. 1966 Topps Don Sutton. I would love to know the story with his hat. It has no logo on it. Is that just a straight up painting, or is it a heavily retouched photo? Yeah, I'd love to know what the story is with that. It's very unusual looking. I mean, not if you're a modern Panini product, but for vintage Topps, that's weird to see a player without a logo on their cap. And got a 55 Bowman Ralph Kiner. So Hall of Famers that have their rookie cards prior to 1952 or thereabouts, I'm not getting real hung up on grabbing their rookie cards. Anything from their playing years is going to be good enough, at least to start with. So when I was buying, I think it was the Raleigh Fingers. The seller had this listed as well, and it was just a few bucks. So I took advantage of the combined shipping and got a cool card for just a few bucks. And I think this is the only 55 Bowman. I guess I have one other 55 Bowman in my collection. But certainly not nearly enough of them. It's a really cool looking set. I think that's everything I have for now. I suppose I'll get back to swimming in 2020 Topps Chrome. I've got sets to sell. I've got tons of duplicates to get listed on eBay for set filler. I've got a lot of these candidates here to look at under the microscope to send off to PSA potentially. I will be doing a separate video showing more details about how I go through these cards prior to grading. I just would like to get that first batch back first so that I have some sense of how well I actually did. Because if everything I submitted comes back as 8 and 9s, then my advice on how to inspect these is not really going to mean very much, is it? So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll try to be a little bit quicker about getting the next video out.